Just don't feed it any more. Oh, hello, dungeon fans. Welcome to the Liching Hour. It is that time. I'm your host, the Lich. Tonight, we're going to be rejoining our heroes after their adventures and intrigue at the Court of Chaos. Let's see what happened to them. But before then, let me make sure everything's cool. Before then, in dungeon news. It's been 0 days since our last hero infestation. This time, though, was a little different than any other times in the past. I want you all to know there's nothing to be afraid of, and you're probably going to see a new face around here. That weird night we had just the other night, the one where a group of goblins fell mysteriously asleep on level 2, then a couple rabbits just appeared out of nowhere on level 3 and sent werewolves into chasing frenzy. Then that ogre on level 5 was found wandering around declaring his love for all his fellow ogres. Well, that wasn't a group of adventurers to blame. That was just one lonely wizard. Fizrag, the wizard, my new apprentice. He came all this way just to ask me to take him on as apprentice. And I gotta say, I was kind of impressed. You know, I'm not usually the apprentice type, but he says he'll clean out the rust crawler poop on level 8, so sold. So if you see this mousy little human wandering around the dungeon, please don't eat him. Unless you want to clean out the rust crawler pit. Feeble the dungeon! Alright, that was the news. Dungeon news. So, where did we leave our party? So, if you remember correctly, Snope, Meggle, Gunther, Cassius, Pix, Barrow, and Talia were were summoned to the Court of Chaos and were given a quest by this court of great beings to steal onto the plane of law and steal something from it. They did, kind of. They got to the plane of law. They passed 5 tests. They were within grasp of the egg, and they entered the egg chamber, and they found themselves face to face with a group of better selves, a group of their better selves. Each one of them had a mirror doppelganger who was bigger and better was a bigger and better version of themselves, and they lost. I didn't expect this to happen. I thought it obviously is a possibility. It's always a possibility. A party wipe is always in the works at some point or another. But these guys, they failed fighting their better selves, but they didn't die. And their story is far from over, at least I think. They wake up, all of them, with bright lights, bright lights. They open their eyes. They can almost close them again because it's so bright. They manage to wake up, all of them at the same time. They find themselves in this bright open room with these glowing balls of light, the exact opposite of where they found themselves in the Court of Chaos. And these globes of light are talking to them. You have been found guilty by the Scions of Law. Whoa. What do you say for yourselves? Takes them all a minute, but to kind of get themselves accustomed to where they are. And Talia is the first one to speak up. Now, Talia is, I guess you never stopped being a lawyer. She was a barrister at her town, and before she became an elf and fully embraced magic and is now an adventurer. So she's the first one to speak up. But what's funny, interesting is she's talking to these beings of law. They caught her and them on their plane. They're now holding them for trial. She gets up to state their case, and she addresses them. My point was she's chaos. Her alignment is chaos. So she's already kind of at a disadvantage talking to these Scions of Law. Now, hold on a minute. I'm going to flip over to chat. If anybody wants to be talking, I haven't flipped over there yet. Let me do that. There I am. Boom. All right. Okay. So, Talia, to the Court of Law. Dear beings of law, scions, great beings bigger than us, we were ripped from our own lives and set before the court of chaos. We were given an ultimatum to serve them in this task, or be dissolved for eternity in a blood sea of chaos. We were forced to grovel at the feet of these great and horrible beings of chaos, our agency laid to waste. It was merely survival that found us on your doorstep. Would you have had us kill ourselves instead? There's a moment, a pause, the bright lights, listening, and then they speak. We would expect nothing less self-serving from a little chaos rat such as yourself. But what say the rest of you? Is what this one says true? Gunther, who's our cleric and very, very law, he speaks up. He steps forward. Great lords of law, we are but flawed and humble beasts. We knew what we were doing was wrong, but we felt it was our only option. The Scions wait for a minute before they're responding, and then they say, we need to discuss in private. You may stay here. And then they disappear. And we don't know how long our party sits in the white room just waiting for these guys to come back. But it's way too long. Could be a couple hours, could be years. There's nothing in the room whatsoever. And then suddenly they're back. The Scions of Law, they say. Now the party, let's back up. Let's talk about what the party's doing. So we don't know how long the Scions are gone. The party's looking at each other, and I think for once they're starting to feel like a party. They just got caught by they were just given a quest to break into someone's house, and that house happened to be a celestial beings, something. These are all first level characters, right? They just, as peasants, they went into the wrong keep at the wrong time and found themselves in a battle with a chaos lord reborn, or being summoned, and then found themselves in the front of these great celestial beings, and then had to go break into this house, and they made it through all the tests that this place had in order to get the yolkless egg, which was the artifact. They almost made it, but then they lost at better versions of themselves. So they got a glimpse of what they could be, and when they fought that man in the mirror, they were found wanting. So now I think our party is sitting there in this way. They're on trial, but for the first time, they're looking at each other and they feel like a party. Like they weren't just all thrown in. They're just thrown together by circumstance, which they were, but not just like a mixed bag of intent. They actually, if they get through this, they might, they're a team. Let's put it that way. Even Talia and Gunther, who are chaotic, Barrow, her husband, even they see the value in the Talia, because she wants more and more power. She's opened up this hole in herself that she wants to just fill with as much magic as possible. So she sees this team as her way and her vehicle for getting out there, and one day she'll break off, go total Fistandulus. But for now, she's staying with them, and then Barrow, he's with her. I mean, he's I've kind of got this picture that Barrow is just has always been helplessly a thrall of his wife, in love, but now that's something else, jealousy and his self-worth is tied up in her, and he's just going to follow her wherever. So anyway, that's where the party is when the Scions of Law come back to pass their judgment, and they kill them all. Good night. Just kidding. Anyway, so Scions come back. The Scions of Law find you guilty of a lack of imagination, but based on how well you did against our tests, and you have proven yourselves capable, If you wish to redeem yourselves in the eyes of law, we have a task for you. Of course they do. It's always a task. It's always got to be a task, right? The task is to close a doorway. But first, you're going to need something to help you. And suddenly, they find themselves, the whole party, find themselves in a big dark forest. Early evening, getting dark forest, on a dirt road. Hear the bugs off. Well, actually, you know what? What's weird is there's no bugs. Because they look and they're standing in front of, the road opens up pretty shortly into a clearing. And there's a house. And suddenly they hear one last thing from the Scions. They hear it in their ear. It's booming all around them. In this house, find a new set of eyes. And then they're gone. So that's where we find our party now. Before them, ringed by ancient trees, is a grassy clearing half covered in shadow. A narrow, high, 2-story home stands in the center of the clearing, like the stump of some long-fallen Titanic tree. Its sway-backed roof is missing shingles, the shutters flanking the windows are crooked, and the short flight of stairs leading into the front door is missing a step. The house's roof and clapboard walls are green with moss, and the building is dark and quiet, as silent as the surrounding woods. Even the birds have hushed their singing, as if waiting to see what these guys will do. So everybody looks around at each other. None of this looks familiar. Snope looks at Cassius. Because Cassius was a woodcutter. He knew the forest pretty well around their tri-village area. It's like, does any of this look familiar to you? Cassius said, no. And this house even less. Gunther speaks up. So, what do they mean by eyes? Something. We're going to have to go in there. Doesn't look inhabited. But there's got to be something. There's got to be a trick, Talia says. There's always a trick. Everything's got a trick. Everybody's got a quest. There better be something worth finding in there, she says. So, Snope, who, Snope's kind of assuming leadership. He's that kind of guy. He's that kind of dwarf. He looks over at Pix. Pix is our little, which we found something new about Pix, by the way, which I need to bring that up just because it's cool, and I don't want to forget it. So if I ever forget it, you guys can let me know. But can remind me. But she, in one of the tests, it was the one where they drink in potions in order, and they had to drink it in the right order to create a rainbow. She drank one out of order, and that one permanently changed her. From now on, whenever she breaks a sweat, she sweats light, which is the antithesis of what, a thief wants. But if she breaks a sweat, so she's got to keep it super cool, or she's going to be bright as hell. She's like a little sun when she gets all worked up, and it makes it easier to hit, and it makes it harder for her to sneak. So she doesn't want that to happen. But anyway, I digress. So Snope looks at Pix and, hey, do you think you could take a look around the house? Maybe look in the window, tell us what we're expecting. We'll chill out here and chill out. We're gonna chill here, yo. No, we're going to set up a small camp here and wait for you to come back. She says, okie dokie. Hey, anybody let me know if you can hear me. If there's any problem hearing me. I've been worried about that since I found some of the older videos. The volume wasn't that great. But I think I fixed it because I got the microphone like right here. All right. Pix nods. Happy to be useful. She likes sneaking around. So it's a big 2-story house. She starts out. She she creeps up. We're gonna do a little roll in here. Not there. Not that rolling. Hold, please. Huh. Go, Cammy, go. There we go. Okay. So in front of her, she sees a front door with stairs going up, the stairs missing. To the left of that, to the left, you're right, of the door is a big set, kind of like almost like a big bay window, I believe. No, there's a couple windows. And there's a couple windows flanking the door as well. She's gonna sneak up quietly through the clearing up to one of the windows. Let's roll a 15. So she peeks in the door windows first. That's what she's gonna do. She's gonna start with the door windows. Right? Yeah. She just sees it's dim. It's early evening, so it's getting darker and darker in the house. But in the dim light, she makes out it's just and next to the front door, it's so that roll was for her to go up the steps. And she did just fine. Walking softly up the steps. She sees just a hallway, a plain entrance hallway. There's a staircase that goes in the hallway up to above. Doors in the south and west walls. South being, she's looking in from the east. She's looking in so there's a door across from her and one to the left of her. She can make out. And that's about it. She sees what looks like a grandfather clock and a coat rack, but nothing else. No things or people. So obviously the room that's next to her has got there's the next set of windows kind of can peek in there. So she peeks in there. That first room is a dining room. No, it looks like a parlor. It looks like it might be a parlor. There's a fireplace, like a couch, some bookcases, kind of looking things, big shapes up against the wall. Looks like, but nothing moving. At this point, it's getting almost too dark for her to really make out things. So what we're gonna do is she's gonna walk around. She's gonna kind of sneak around the house, peeking in windows when she can. And overall, she doesn't see any movement in the house. It looks like it's not abandoned because it's not. It looks like it's been cleaned and it's okay, but it's not. But whoever's there is either asleep or out or something. She does a quick whole perimeter. She doesn't find anything around the house. There might be another roll for her though. Oh yeah, we're gonna do this. All right, yellow in this instance is gonna be not good. Wow. Okay. Pick sneaks around, peeking in stuff. Yeah. She comes back around and comes up to the party. Most of the rooms, there was a dining room. There looked like what might be a kitchen on the on the other side of the house. There's another door she tells them there's the front door, and then around that's facing west. So around the north side is another door. And then there's windows along the side, but she didn't see anybody. So now the party has to decide what they're gonna do. They can do something crazy. Snopes is looking. He's looking at the roof. It's not. Nobody has a grappling hook, I don't think. Somebody has rope. Yeah. Gunther speaks up and says, I got rope. Do you want to go climbing? Well, we don't know. Snow. Let's think about this. We don't know why we know we're supposed to find a set of eyes in here. We don't know what that means. We don't know if it's someone's eyes. Maybe it's a pair of glasses. Is it magical? This looks like pics. Did you see anything that would? Is this a human or not human, but not necessarily human, but a human, elf, or dwarf? House. And she shrugs. Could be human. Could be elf. Didn't look dwarven. But it didn't feel like a monster lair necessarily to her. So Snope says, I mean, I don't know if climbing, maybe our best bet is to knock on the door and see who's there. And then Talia speaks up. She goes, no, look, if this was a matter of knocking on the door to get something, the Scions of Law would not have teleported us here or placed us here and told us to go in this house and get something. Well, they are the Scions of Law, though, Snope says. I mean, they're lawful beings. They're not. They wouldn't send us here. Would they really send us here to break in? And well, Talia says, well, they wouldn't send us here to break in if these people were lawful people. But if this was a place of law, then they wouldn't need to have dropped us off here to fetch something. I don't think this feels more like they've put us here. Whatever's in the house is not of law, and we're to go in there and take what we need. That's what I would do, she says. Gunther says, well, a lot of what she says sounds true to me. Anybody in chat want to speak up about what maybe these guys should do while I drink some Red Bull? I mean, we could try to do something crazy with some rope. We could bust in through the front door. We could sneak in through the front door. We could go around the side door. We could bust into one of the windows. Everybody's throwing these options out. But let's talk about it. So breaking in sounds like kind of like the wrong, I mean, right now they have an element of surprise. They're going into something they don't know. Breaking a window just kind of says, hey, hey, guess what? We're breaking in your house. And then they have to all crawl in. And some of them are wearing armor. Barrow is kind of a fat elf. That's not really good. Climbing, actually, that kind of cuts climbing out too. There's something about knocking on the front door that sounds great, but Talia's got a point. This doesn't feel like a knock on the door kind of thing. We could just leave. Do you think they can teleport us back? These Scions of Law, do you think they're probably watching us or something, aren't they? Gunther speaks up. We already saw how powerful these beings are, both from the law and the chaos. We're already in trouble. Okay, if we ran now, we would have betrayed both the Scions of Law and the Court of Chaos. Our best chance right now of surviving without paying any kind of price to this Court of Chaos is to do what the Court of Law asks. Talia has to concede. I mean, that's a good point. Plus, what else can she learn from all these great beings? If she ran, she would not be part of this grand kind of thing. So, let's see. What do we got? What are our options with the casting of spells and stuff? Gunther can detect evil, and he can resist cold and heat. Detecting evil. Detecting evil. It seems like something he could do. What's the range on detect evil? That is the question. Detect evil. Range 60 feet or more. 60 feet. Yeah, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the map. Map. 15 feet. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd say about 60 feet. Let's get them up a little closer. Let's see. Okay, so the way detect evil happens, if he does it good, creatures opposed to alignment are automatically detected, which means, Talia and Barrow are going to start glowing. Objects are going to glow. I guess they have to be hiding. He can cast it to see if, in fact, it seems like something, like, wait. I could ask my, my lord if there's any evil here. Talia says, you might want to wait till we're a little closer to the house, or maybe in the house. True, he says. So let's decide, how are we going to go in this house? Front door or side door? Front door. This is a front door party. Quietly. So, yeah. Let me check one thing. Okay. All right. So I need to roll for the party with Pix in front. She's going to attempt to open the door. If it needs to be picked, she's going to pick it. So she's going to go first, followed by Snope and Meg, then Cassius. No, sorry. It's going to be her and then Gunther. Gunther's going to speak up and say he wants to. She opens the door. I will cast. I will not cast. I will say the words. I'm going to come up with some kind of fictional way that he speaks about casting spells. So something so trite as he casts detect evil. Gunther says he will ask for divine help in seeing if there's anything in the house that is evil. So they file as quiet as possible up to the front door. We're gonna roll a little bit. We're gonna roll a little something. Alright, Gunther's gonna roll. Nope. That was Barrow's gonna roll. Okay. Barrows stops the party. Hey, do you hear that? Everybody looks at. I don't hear. Sounds like wind chimes. Far away. Pix is listening. Do you think? Okay, so there's something in there. I'm gonna roll an intelligence check on Pix. Pix rolls that was a 20. Pix rolls a 20. She crit her intelligence check. She goes, Pix with wide eyes and bright, and she says, if I were, this could be a trap. That could be an alarm. That's when everybody freezes. Chills run up their spines. Chills just ran up my spine. They look at him. Come on. They Snope motions them. They all kind of close up around the front door, and they're looking around at the clearing. Like, and they're whispering. So someone, if there's some kind of signal, someone's watching us. Did you see? Has anybody seen anything in any of the windows? And they're all realizing that that they've been watching the windows, but they can't see in the windows. Even though there's windows in the top half of the house too, that are pitch black now. Couldn't even see them. Somebody could have been watching them. If I were going to lay a trap, this is in a house. This is exactly how I do it. So what do we do now? If we think we've been watched from the windows and somebody's signaling or something's going on. The chiming might have been my imagination, Barrow says. But Pix speaks up and says, that may be, but that doesn't mean that this doesn't feel like a trap now. Everybody agrees. Feels like a trap. So what do we do with traps? Well, one way you deal with them is you just spring them. The other way you deal with them is you try to go around them. Let's see, what else do we have from a spellcasting standpoint? What is Antalia's? Oh wait, Meg. Meg's got the hawk. Meg has Ormond, her hawk, familiar, who's got infravision and can detect secret doors. So she is going to send him flying around the house, specifically the second floor. She can have him looking in the windows, and she can talk with him telepathically. So he goes flying around the house. And as he's flying, he goes around the windows he starts the same way Pix went. He's flying around, starting south, going around the house. And he's not seeing anything. He's not reporting anything. He's flying, looking in. I'd say, I want to say she's looking through his eyes, but I don't know if it's that intense of a relationship with her familiar. But for fun, it could be. Let's just say that, yes, it's fun. So she's looking through his eyes. She sees what looks like bedroom, unoccupied bedroom. Another unoccupied bedroom, another bedroom, nothing in them, just a couple beds and dressers. And then there's a little bathroom on the hawks come around to the north side of the building, of the house, and it's looking around, and it notices we're gonna roll, and 7. Okay. It notices a big tree, and it's standing just inside the clearing. Nothing special about it. And then it, as it's flying around, it looks in the house. I gotta flip over, but I rolled a find secret doors check for the hawk, and he rolled a 7. He gets +4, but that wasn't enough for him to find nothing. So where are we at? Okay, he's coming back around the room right above I believe it's the room right above. 2. Yeah. The room right above them, he sees, Meg sees, a four little creatures that are quietly sitting on a bed, or on a couple beds, a couple on each bed, just kind of quiet. They look wary and look like they're intentionally being quiet. And maybe even one looks up and notices the hawk fly by and kind of gets a little scared. So she relays this to the team, like right above them in the room above the front door. What kind of creatures are they? The hawk flies back up and let's see. Let's read it. They're short, ochre-colored humanoids with broad noses, cat-like ears, and four-fingered hands. Each one's dressed in a white broad collared coat and short pants. Pail-shaped hats are perched atop their heads. They clutch an assortment of spears, swords, and crossbows and look prepared to use them. So they're wary and they're ready to. That wariness she detected was them ready to fight if they need to. But they don't seem to be laying an ambush. Right? No. No, they look like they're waiting for if someone happens to burst into the room. So, are they the owners of the house, do we think? Maybe they saw us coming, are afraid, and are hiding up in that room now, hoping we go away. I mean, we don't look like them. We don't know where we are. They saw us. They could be. This may be Gunther speaking. They see us, this big group of people with swords and pointy hats. Not that anybody's wearing pointy hats. Pointy ears. They're rightfully afraid, right? Right. Maybe this is another test of law. Are we beings of chaos where we just burst in the door and take what we want? Or are we beings of law? And Talia scoffs at this. Beings of law, beings of chaos. You're putting arbitrary rules on things when it comes down to a simple thing. What we need and the best way to get it. That's what all it comes down to. We're in a situation now. We're sitting outside a house. It's nighttime. We're in woods. We have no idea where we are. What is the best way for us to get what we need? If we knock on the door and we ask these things for whatever the laws, chaos lords want, how do we know they're going to give it to us? Gunther says, listen. As of right now, the only beings we think that live here are these little things that are in the room above us. They are armed. So we could bust in and definitely have a fight. Or we could knock and try to talk to these things and maybe not have a fight. But if we fight, we know we're going to have a fight. There's no surprise here now. We know of. We don't know how many of these things there are. There might be, well, we looked around. There's a lot of people arguing in my head right now with us, but and I'm not doing the voices for everybody. Like, I should do voices for this party since they haven't been dying. No one's died yet, but we don't know how many there are. Yes, we've seen every room. Maybe there's more. Maybe there's some hiding in a basement or an attic. Is there an attic window? Mega. The hawk flies up. I don't think so, she says. That doesn't look like it. Right. All right. Snope says, okay. This could be a trap. We're gonna two ways to go about this. We could spring it, or we could try to go around it. And I say we do both. Let's knock on the door. No one's expecting us to do that. We're going to try to soft spring this trap by just doing something they don't expect. And with that, everybody kind of looks at them. They ready themselves. Whoa, 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 he says, whoa, whoa. We can't look like we're ready for a fight if they come to the door. All right? So let's unready ourselves. Everybody unreadies themselves. And but Talia and Meg get themselves some spells ready. Gunther pulls up the words for detect evil, because he can cast it immediately when something opens the door. And everybody, Snope walks up the stairs and knocks confidently on the door. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. He knocks a few more times. They wait a few more minutes. Maybe 10, maybe 20. No one's coming to the door. No one's coming to the door. Well, now, lawful people, my law friends, as Talia puts it, what do we do now? Is it time to reassess our plan? It is. It is. I mean, she was right. The best plan, I mean, it's whatever the best plan is to get what they need, at least for these guys right now. And knocking on the door obviously didn't work. No one's coming to the door. No one wants to see them. They have been tasked to find a new set of eyes in here. Pix, can you unlock the door? Wait, let's try the door. So, Snope tries the door, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's locked. He looks at Pix and goes, all right, go on, do your thing. Pix, I think is a pretty good lockpicker, if I remember correctly. She's a neutral thief, and in Dungeon Crawl Classics, depending on your alignment can guide a lot of different things about your character. For a thief, alignment determines the modifiers for a variety of different thief abilities. Her pick lock is +1. She can climb sheer surfaces. Snope thinks about that, maybe sending her off in her own, but then he thinks he likes having the party together. So he's going to roll. She's going to roll. She rolls 14. 14 + 1. There's my proof. Haha! 14 + 1. Which is 15. So she and like less than a minute, the door opens slowly, and before them, a plain entrance hall resides behind the house's front door. The walls are decorated with faded rose-colored wallpaper and dark wainscoting. A staircase descends into the hall from above, and doors stand in the west and south halls. A grimy window looks outside from the north wall. A coat rack holding weather-beaten hats, several woolen scarves, and an umbrella stands by the door. An ancient, silent grandfather clock watches the room like a decrepit sentinel. We have a visitor. We have, there's a little brood of dungeon cats that live in the dungeon here. Mostly, I don't know how they've survived this long. In the level 3, all the werewolves and and the gnolls and all the creatures on level 3, all the were-rats, they haven't killed them, I think, because they're kind of a mascots. But say hi. Say hi, lovey-dovey. This is Pika. Okay, Dungeon Cat. I can't. You're going to have to chill out. All right. So, the staircase, door on the left, coat rack, grandfather clock. Slowly, Pix walks in, and Gunther casts his detect evil. Speaks his, communes with his deity in order to find out if there's anything evil here. Where's my man Gunther at? My man Gunther has what kind of spell check modifier? +1. Alright, so roll. He rolls a 13. He rolls a 13. 2. Huh. Alright, creatures of opposed alignment are potentially detected, as well as objects inherently dangerous in nature, such as traps and cursed weapons. Evil creatures receive a will save versus spell check DC to remain undetected by this spell. Okay. We are going to roll a will save. Let's see. Wait, how many feet? Okay, 60 feet. Yeah. All right. Will save +1 is 13. He rolled a 13. It's tied. Ties work. So he saved. Who he, you ask? Don't mind the man behind the curtain. Do not mind the man behind the curtain. Gunther, under his breath, very quietly, he speaks his words to commune with his Lord, his God, his deity, and kind of does this kind of thing, and nothing happens. He receives no sign. He moves over as Snope kind of creeps up in, and then before you know it, all of them are in there. Pix Megal observes like the coat rack. It's like has 3 big floppy cloth hats. One's got a big feather in it. 5 scarves in various colors, and an umbrella. And apparently, whoever lives here is vaguely stylish. The Pix is looking at the clock, and it looks pretty old and broken. But let's see if she okay. I'm finding her character sheet again. We're gonna roll a check for her looking at the grandfather clock, and she rolled a 3, which is a 3, and so that doesn't find shit. Stuff. I'm PG-13. So nothing there. The big old grandfather clock. Now the party's got to decide which way they're going. What are they going to do? We have a room to the left of us, room ahead of us, and one behind. Oh no, nothing behind. Nothing but the dark forest behind. Barrow quietly shuts the door. Quietly. Here you are. Anybody got an idea where these guys should go? We'll say left, straight, or up. I'll wait. All right. So, left. They're right there. All right, what's the plan now? Maybe they should have had a plan before they came in. But I guess the plan was to knock on the door and get them to come in. Now they're in someone's house. These people could be sleeping. You want to find the eyes. Let's look around. We're not here to murder some people in their sleep or anything. Or those things. Oh, wait, there are other things upstairs. They know that they're upstairs. If they go looking around downstairs, that invites the things that come down the stairs. Maybe the best idea would be to walk up the stairs to find out, to confront them. If they're, or at least try to talk through the door, right? So, sounds about right? So they start filing up the stairs. Same order. Gunther picks first, and then Gunther. The stairs ascend to this landing. They come to a landing. An open space at the end of a hallway that appears to run the length of the house. A small table. Okay. So they come up to the landing. It's a hallway, but that connects all the rooms up there. A small table stands next to the top of the stairs, holding a plain but dusty vase. A door stands to the left at the end of the hallway. Another faces the top of the stairs, like right. Yeah. You can see 3 more doors further down the hall to the west. All are currently closed. So you got a kind of door. They're at the top of the standing. To the right there, there's a door and another door ahead of them, and then down the hallway to the left are 3 more doors. Everything's closed up. After a quick kind of look around, everything's quiet. They decide they do some quick spatial figuring out the door to the room they think the things are in, or at the end of this side, is right there. So they slowly kind of creep up to the door, and Gunther. Let's see, how are these guys gonna approach this? Are they gonna talk to him through the door? They know they're in there. Try to talk to them. Let's see. Okay. Just reading this entry really quick. All right. Gunther looks at Snope and he comes up the door. He knocks very softly. Dun, dun, dun. Hello? Oh, wait. Hold on. I want to see who speaks what. Meg, our elf, speaks common, elf, and lawful. Pix doesn't speak a damn. I don't know what she speaks. She speaks the common and the thief stuff. Talia speaks elf, dwarf, and common. Snopes talks common, dwarf, and goblin. Barrow speaks orc, elven, and common. Cassius don't speak anything, which it doesn't seem right because he's the smartest one of the bunch. We're gonna have to fix that. He should be speaking something. And Gunther just speaks common. Okay, Gunther. You're not maybe the best person to go up there, but he knocks softly. Hello in there. We know you're in there. We mean you no harm. We wish only to speak with you. There's a few moments. And then a voice. Everybody, this a small voice, high pitched. We we want no trouble, no trouble. Gunther, we are looking for something. We only need to get it. Can we talk? No trouble. You leave us be. Leave now. Leave the house now. Gunther says, we are looking for. What are we looking for? I don't know. They said to get eyes. We're looking for maybe eye glasses. Some kind of eyes. There's a bit of pause, and then the voice says we have eyes. You cannot have our eyes. You want to make trade? You look for something, we give you something, we leave. Huh. Well, it depends on what you have. We're looking for something. But let us in. No, we think you stay outside. Yeah. Well, they want to trade. They're open to trading. These guys, between you and I, these guys they're not the inhabitants of the house. I don't want to tell you that. Not yet. So forget I just told you that. So, the party, what are we going to do? I don't know. They want to trade. We're going to trade them something. If they want to trade, maybe they have what we're looking for. Well, let's get them to open and then they click, and the door opens. And there's a little guy there, and then there's two guys behind him. They got crossbows. They don't look shaky or anything. And there's little things with little wide noses and the ears and little hats and the coat. They look dressed up like peoples. And they say, "You want to make trade? We trade. We trade. We leave. You trade. You leave." And Gunther said, "Well, if you have what we need, we will leave." "Oh, we got lots what you need." "We got come see." And they motion them to come inside, where the guys with the little guys with the crossbows move back. And Gunther, thinking quick, speaks words. He's casting Detect Evil. Eight. Ooh, 8 plus 1 is 9. Yes, 9, which is a fail. Okay, so he's a fail. So Gunther is so when a cleric misses a spell check, it get closer to disapproval with their deity. And so we're gonna his disapproval is already at 4, his range. I don't think. Wait, does this go down? I gotta check on that. We're gonna reset the one. I think it resets when you sleep. I think. Let's check it. How long does disfavor stick around? Let's see. Okay. We'll say a day has passed because they don't know how long they were in that room. He was able to rest. He got his spells back. He he, but now he's got one to spit. Okay, so clerics when they miss their spell checks, they get their disapproval range. Right now, it's a critical one, a critical miss. A one will get him disfavor with his deity, but now it's a one or a two because he failed a spell check. So Gunther speaks out, and the little creature goes, "Huh?" And they tense up. He's like, no, nothing. Sorry. Excuse me. And obviously it didn't work. He kind of shoots a look at Snope, and Snope says, and the party's not feeling too intimidated by these. There's four of them. They're little. They got crossbows, but if they were part of a trap or something, to them, this feels like, okay, we came to the house. These guys are hiding up in there. We've startled them. We maybe he doesn't understand why they would leave their house, why they'd say that, but he's going with the flow. So they're kind of moved. The party kind of moves into the room. Pix is gonna stay outside to watch. So Gunther and Meggle come in, and maybe just Meggle and Gunther come in. The other three stay out on the landing, and Talia's looking around. What's Talia got? Talia, I forget what her spells. She's got animal summoning and sleep. So Talia goes in. Barrow and Pix sit outside. Talia goes in and readies sleep, just in case shit goes crazy. She's gonna put everybody to sleep. So there's that. What you like? What would you like? What would you like? Aha. What would you like? Well, we're looking for eyes. We he says. He reaches in he reaches in this little box, this little wicker box. They go to the closet. They open up the closet, and you hear him digging around. He comes up with this little wicker box and sets it down. And he pulls out this green. It looks like emerald, right? At first, Snope's eyes light up, but dwarves can, in Dungeon Crawl Classics, dwarves can literally smell golden gems from like a mile away. They can always smell them, but right away he, at first he's like, "Oh, is this emerald?" But then he realizes it doesn't smell like emerald. It's some kind of quartz, or yeah, some kind of quartz. It's got a crack in it, but they're round, right? About this big though. And he's like, no, for eyes. Oh, he's saying for the round. Oh no. He goes around a little bit more. He puts the wicker basket down, goes to the closet, comes back out. He's got a crossbow. He's like, you want your weapon you have. Take it. We leave. Snopes, why would you leave your house? He says. And the little guy goes, not silly, not our house. Not our house. We leave now. That's when Snopes gets kind of, him and Gunther look at each other, and Talia looks at him, and she goes to cast the spell, and Snopes stops her. He goes, "Whose house is this?" And the little guy goes, No, we leave now. You trade, we leave now. And the other guys kind of get they kind of set up the thing. Talia gets ready to cast a spell, but Snopes goes. He looks around and go, okay. Wait, do we want these guys to leave? If this was a test, if this was a test of the science of law, then probably they wouldn't want these guys who have made it clear that they're not interested in fighting, would not want them killed. So, I keep forgetting about Cassius. Cassius has been along for the ride here, but he hasn't been saying much. But anyway, Cassius goes, let them go. Cassius, if you remembered, Ed, he had a huge moment, and he turned alignments from chaos to lawful in the not last episode, the episode before last, during the whole trial and challenges. Anyway, he says, let them go. So Snopes goes, okay, you go. You go now? You go where? Out front door? Yeah, we go. You take this. And the thing hands him the crossbow, and the party backs out. When they're all backed out, the little guys come out the hallway. They're looking over their shoulder, and they walk down the stairs, and then the party's sitting there, and they hear that click of the front door, and they leave. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. Well, that was a 17. Snopes goes, has anything changed? No. This wasn't their house. Well, whose house is it? I don't know. They've left. I guess we keep looking around. So they're on the second floor. Seems like a good place to start. Let's see, they were in that room with the little dudes, and there was nothing in there. Those little dudes are gone. Snope now has a crossbow, and the guys handed him some bolts. A pack of 20 bolts on his way out. Pix opens up the door. That's okay. So they're standing outside the bedroom. Yeah, standing outside the bedroom on the landing. The stairs going down. There's a door right next to them on the side wall, and then down the hallway are the three other doors. They're gonna open up. Pix just tries the door. It opens up to the bedroom next to the one they were just in. A bunk bed made from rough-hewn timbers and a second single bed take up much of this room. Each sleeping pallet is covered with a drab blanket, and the floor sports a dirt-encrusted rug. A surprisingly ornately carved wardrobe stands against the north wall, and a bare bookcase is propped against the western wall. 3 windows, one to the east and 2 to the south, look out upon the forest outside. This would have been a good room for somebody to watch us, Cassius says. Maybe. I'm going to check it out, says Pix. See if there's if there's dust or footprints near the windows. So she goes in. And let's see, she's going to go in, and Gunther goes in to look around. The other ones are standing out kind of outside when they go in. So just as they're doing that, we are going to okay. Just while they're doing that, Barrow looks down and he sees this obviously loose floorboard, and he just barely stops himself from stepping on it. He rolled a 20. We're going to take a luck check with luck check. Shush, Dungeon Kitty. Shush. Alright. Why's it always got to be in the bottom? What's your luck, girl? Alright. Oh, gotta keep rolling that black one. Boom! Pix has gone into the room. Gunther goes in after, following her. It's not a huge room. The whole party doesn't need to be filing in. She's just going in check. He's going in because he thinks maybe he'll be able to see if there's any evil or something. When they're both entering the room though, and she's going up the window, boom! The bookcase up against the west wall bursts open, and these shadowy figures come racing out, and surprising Pix and Gunther. Yes, they're carrying looks like spears. No, clubs. Shadowy figures, clubs. We're gonna roll. Let's see. I'm gonna roll for Pix to see if she's hiding in shadows. Okay, note to fucking self. Stop rolling the yellow die for the characters because it's not rolling good. Yeah, so she critically did not. She wasn't even thinking. So one of them goes at her, big hulking figure, is what she hears, bang and roar, and one attacks Gunther. All right, so Pix's armor class is 10. No. Oh, I guess. All right, hold on. Need a good monster die. All right. Her armor class is 10. This sucker rolled a 9, and it gets +1. It is 10. This thing connects, so we're gonna roll. It does D4 with its club. D4 in the club. 3. Okay. So the first beast, and so this bedroom. Let's talk about how the bedroom's laid out. This bedroom, they walk in the door. There's a bookcase to the left. There's beds against the far walls, and then there to this side of the wall, on this side, over here, is the bookcase that burst open. So it's kind of a big open area. She had kind of walked around. She had walked around the bookcase to the left there to look out the window. Gunther had come in. One races out, going right for her up against the bookcase. Slams her. He slams her into the bookcase. He doesn't even hit her with a club. And does 3 points of damage. She's like, up against the bookcase. Okay. The other one attacks Gunther. Gunther's a little bit better equipped. He's got armor class of 12. This guy rolls 9. Oh no, 5. All right. So this guy comes raging at Gunther and throws a club, and Gunther kind of does like this thing, and kind of pushes him out of the way without taking a hit. Good for Gunther. Okay, it's initiative time. Let's initiative right after the third one comes out of the secret door, also attacking Gunther. This guy rolled a 20. Monster crit. Monster crit! Monster crit! I'm pretty sure that's a top hit single in the at the dungeon like a couple years ago. Monster crit! Monster crit! Alright. There is a wonderful monster crit table here for when they crit. What's he roll on? I don't know. Okay. Demon giants, humanoids with weapons. Oh, you. Less than 1 is D4 on table 3. Okay. D4 on table 3. D4. So he rolled a 3, consulting table 3. Foe steps into attack, inflict plus 1d8 damage with this strike. Okay. So, the first one comes bursting out, swings at Gunther. Gunther does one of these things and hits him out of the way. But as he's stepping, the third one, he didn't notice the third one coming racing up behind the other one, and with his club, and Gunther walks right into it. So he's taken 1d4 or 1d8 points of damage, which sucks. He's taking, holy shize. Oh man. Oh. Gunther is taking he's taking 11 points of damage. This is not good, bro. This is not good. Gunther goes way down. He steps into it. The guy bashes him so hard in the head that Gunther goes slumping to the ground. Now it's time for initiative. Alright. Let's go. We'll roll for picks. 20. Okay. Nope. 18. Okay. Mego. 3. Okay. Cassius. 2. Okay. Barrow. 10. Talia. 1. Gunther, 7. I don't think anybody gets a plus. Alright, and then the shadowy figures. 10 plus 2 is 12. Okay, so it's going Pix and Snope. And then Barrow, and then the monsters. Snope, Barrow, monsters. Then 3, 2, 1. Cassius, Talia. Wait, no, Gunther. Oh, Gunther. Gunther's out of commission right now. Alright. The other part, everybody else, like, obviously, shit's gone down. They start running and trying to assess what's going on. What they see when Gunther goes down are these man-sized, they're hulking kind of creatures that they never really seen apes, but they got that kind of physique where their arms are a little longer and they're a little hunchy, but they got this rubbery flesh with coarse dark hair and beady piggish red eyes. They they're not wearing really any clothes except for one's got one of the scarves on. They got like a blue scarf on, and yeah, that's it. Okay. Ooh, buddy. Maggle, Maggle? No. Pix. So she gets slammed. Pix gets slammed up against the thing, but she's the first one. She's right there. She sees Gunther go down. She's gonna attempt to move around as quick as she can to get around this guy while drawing her dagger. I'm gonna give her a shot at that. He's big, but she's smaller. I'm gonna give her a chance to hide. To slip around this guy, and it is dark. These guys got infravision though. They can see in the dark. She wants to slip behind him while drawing her dagger so she can try to backstab these guys. I'm gonna let her attempt that, but as she tries to go around him, she's gonna pull out her dagger, but his bulk won't stops her from actually being able to get around. He's like, "Rah." But she's got her dagger out. Snope. Snope drops his longsword and drops the crossbow, grabs his longsword and charges in. Charges in. But that's his action. Barrow, wait. Yeah, he's got to do all that. Barrow, what you doing, Barrow? Barrow needs some spells, bro. Barrow's got one spell, Ecom's mystical mask, and it pretty much helps versus like spells and stuff. Not so much what he's got going on. Barrow's gonna equip his flail. He's gonna get his flail out. Remember, everybody kind of kept their weapons a little bit like on the down low, but he gets it out, and he's gonna stand himself and watch the other three rooms to make sure nothing comes out of them. He's gonna hold up the rear. Monsters times. So Snopes comes in. The two that struck down Gunther are gonna attack him. Snope has an armor class of 12. One hits for 15, or hits another one crits. Holy shite, man. Okay. Rolls a 3. We know he's doing D8. Okay, so wow. Snopes is taking 2d4 and a D8. This could be bad. So Snopes takes 14 points of damage. What can he do? Yeah. So I think I think I can burn luck. I don't know. Can I? Does not change over time. Blah blah. Effects. Okay, so the character's luck modifier. Oh, that says modifier. Does he have a modifier? I wonder about burn and luck. So in Dungeon Crawl Classics, if you've been following me, you know that you can burn your luck, and can his own dice rolls. Right. I think I've checked this before. Okay, these guys just go hog wild on Snope, and he stands no thing. Thump thump. Snope is down, and then the other one swings at. The other one swings at Pix. He rolls a 2. Pix dodges out of the way. Okay. Meg. Meg sends the hawk in, and seeing Snopes falls shakes her. She rushes in with her mace. She draws her mace and sends her hawk in. The hawk does attack. He attacks one of these creatures. He hits and he crits. Hits and he crits. He's going to do the exact same amount of damage that guy does. The Gnole, so Snope ran into there, and when he ran in, these guys just went to town, and he walked right into it. He ran. The hawk, but the thing was bashing in Snope. It goes to bash again, but that's when the hawk comes in. The hawk just nails him right in the face. Crit. He's going to roll on the same table as the monsters, doing D8. He does 1d3 plus D8. 8 points of damage. Nice. So the hawk just slams into this thing. It screams out as it just buries its beak into it and claws into its face and scratches it. And the thing falls backwards and hits the head and on the back of the bookshelf and falls down. And he's not getting up. Morale check. Check on these guys. The two creatures look at each other, and then they run into the bookshelves wherever they came from. It looks like a passage or a doorway behind the bookshelf. They book off. Meggle runs in, and Pix runs to Gunther. And we need to do some saving lives stuff. Yeah. So when you're bleeding out, there's a chance of saving a dead character by healing them very quickly. Oh boy. So, who has any kind of first aid kind of thing? See, it's bad when your cleric goes down. That's the tough thing. So I have to make a call here of whether or not they don't really. It's not like anybody has a healing potion. Yeah. heal just a tiny little bit. Just a little bit to get these guys not freaking dead. Talia was a barrister. Pharaoh was a artisan. Cassius was a woodcutter. Meg was a falconer. And Pix was a beggar. So nobody had... Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Cassius is going to run in. I'm going to give him an intelligence check to keep Gunther from bleeding out. So we're going to leave it up to a die roll. I'm going to give him a DC of 10. Because at least I'm leaving it up to the dice. 19. Cassius manages to, he's not a stupid man. He wraps up, he tears off the one that was dead was the one that had the scarf on. He takes the scarf from it, the creature, and he wraps up Gunther's head and stops the bleeding out. Okay, and then he turns to Snope. Okay. Huh. All right. So he doesn't know exactly how to help him, but we're gonna give Snope one more. There's this rule for recovering the body. He might have gotten really lucky, so we'll do a luck check on him to see. We're gonna do Snope's gonna have a luck check. See if Snope has a modifier, luck modifier. Of course not. All right, this is it. This die roll determines whether or not Snope is going to live or die. Yeah. He's gonna burn one piece of luck. And yeah, he is going to live. Snope, I'm gonna burn a 1 point of luck for him on this roll. Put him at 10, just barely. Here's the deal. These guys are, Snope and Gunther are out. Everybody crowds in the room. They shut the door. They kind of lock up. They kind of hunker down. And they're talking, kind of waiting a little bit while Snope and Gunther are making sure they're not going to die. And then they're realizing, like, they're not going to be okay for a while. It might not be till morning. And they don't know where they are. Those things are still loose in the house. What are we going to do? Somebody needs to keep watch on these guys. And somebody needs to go off and see if they can't find these eyes. We're going to leave the characters here. We're going to leave for tonight, we're going to leave the characters in this room trying to figure out what their next move is. They've closed the door to it looks like a hidden hallway behind the bookcase. They've closed it, kind of barricaded a little bit, best they could, moved a bed in front of it. And now they're laying there with Gunther and Snope, barely alive, passed out on the floor. And they're gonna. I'm gonna break up. Oh, I was just coughing. Yeah. So we're gonna leave them there for tonight, and we'll come back to them next week. Thank you for joining me on the Liching Hour. If you like the story, please follow me. You can also check out the videos. I put them up on YouTube as soon as I'm done with this will go up on YouTube. We're not playing Intrigue at the Court of Chaos right now. We are playing it's an adventure called The Gnole House by Michael Curtis. Let's put this over here. The Gnole House by Michael Curtis. And I've got to change that little thing up here. It says we are playing the Court of Chaos. Thanks for joining me, and I will check you later. Viva la Dungeon!